Claire Morgan sat across from me with a warm cup of tea in her hands, and she said something that completely stopped me in my tracks. She said, "You know what is funny? Men always think they know exactly what we are looking at, but they are almost always wrong." Claire is 63 years old, sharp as ever, and one of more than 900 women we had the privilege of sitting down with over the past several months. We asked them one simple and honest question. When you see a man over 60, what is the very first thing your eyes go to? And what came back from those conversations genuinely surprised us, because it had almost nothing to do with what most men would ever guess. Most men think it is about having a big chest or wide shoulders or looking tall and powerful. Claire laughed softly when I said that. She told me those things might have mattered once, but life teaches you to look for something completely different. After 50, after 60, women stop comparing men to some fantasy version of youth. They start reading something much deeper. They start reading whether a man still shows up for his own life. And the body, whether we realize it or not, tells that story loudly and clearly before a single word is ever spoken. The very first thing Claire and most of the other women mentioned was posture. Now, before you roll your eyes, just hear this out, because what Claire said about it was genuinely profound. She told me that posture is not about looking military or stiff. It is about whether a man looks like he still has somewhere to be. When a man walks into a room with his shoulders slightly forward and his eyes pointing at the floor, something in us reads that as a man who is quietly checked out. But when a man stands open and easy, chin level, chest relaxed and forward, he looks like someone who is still excited to be in the room. That kind of energy pulls people toward you before you ever say hello. Then Claire brought up something that honestly caught me off guard. Hands. She said that a man can wear the nicest jacket in the world and fix his hair perfectly, but the moment he reaches across a table or opens a door, his hands tell the real story. Are the nails kept up? Does the skin look cared for, even just a little? Hands that show effort, even rough hands that show real work and real life, are incredibly attractive. What women are not drawn to are hands that look forgotten, because forgotten hands suggest a man who has stopped paying attention to himself altogether. After that, Claire leaned forward a little and said something that made a few of the men in our research team genuinely uncomfortable. She said the jaw and the neck matter more than biceps ever will. Not because women want a perfectly sculpted face, that is not the point at all, but because the jawline and neck area tend to reflect discipline and health choices over time. A man who keeps himself reasonably active, who watches what he eats even just somewhat, who makes small daily efforts, that usually shows up in this area in a real and visible way. And women notice. They notice the effort, not the perfection. We kept talking and Claire mentioned forearms, which surprised me most of all. She smiled and said it is so simple, really. Forearms are always visible. When you carry something, when you shake someone's hand, when you reach for your coffee, there they are. And forearms that show some tone and strength tell a woman something quietly wonderful. They say this man uses his body. He fixes things, lifts things, stays involved in the physical world around him. That kind of capability, not gym vanity, but real-world usefulness, is deeply attractive to women who have been around long enough to know what actually matters. Then we got to the smile, and Claire got a little emotional here, which I did not expect. She told me that after her divorce at 58, she started noticing things she had never paid attention to before. She said a real smile, a genuine one that reaches a man's eyes and happens naturally in the moment, is one of the most powerful things she has ever experienced. It tells her immediately that this is a man who is at peace with something. Not performing happiness, not forcing charm, just actually enjoying the moment he is in. That kind of ease is magnetic in a way that no muscle in the world can compete with. Speaking of eyes, Claire said that women look at a man's eyes very quickly and very instinctively. Not the color, not the shape, the life inside them. Does he look at you when you speak? Does his gaze feel steady and calm? Or does he look scattered and somewhere else entirely? Eyes that are present and curious and warm tell a woman that this man is still genuinely interested in life, still interested in people, still interested in her. And after 60, that quality is more rare and more precious than almost anything else. And finally, Claire talked about the way a man moves. Not whether he is athletic or graceful, just whether his movement feels purposeful and calm. A man who walks with easy, steady steps, who sits down without rushing, who opens a door without hesitation. That man communicates something without ever opening his mouth. He communicates that he is comfortable being exactly who he is. No performance, no apology, no urgency to prove anything. Just a man who knows himself and moves through the world accordingly. Claire said that quality, that quiet groundedness, is what she and almost every woman she knows finds most irresistible in a man of any age. When we finished talking, Claire wrapped both hands around her tea and said one more thing that I think about every single day since. She said, "We are not looking for young. We stopped caring about young a long time ago. We are looking for alive. We want to see a man who still cares, still moves, still shows up, still smiles, still looks at you like the conversation matters. That is everything. And that is exactly what these 7 signals are really about. Not perfection, not competition with younger men. Just the quiet daily evidence that you have not given up on yourself. Stand a little taller today. Take care of the small things. Keep moving. Keep smiling. Keep showing up. Because the way you carry yourself tells the world your whole story. And it is never too late to make that story a beautiful one."